Okay, let's talk about the details of my arrangement of What Child Is This?, which is, of course, based on the melody to Greensleeves. Now, first of all, when you look at the music, you're going to see a pretty complete fingering for each hand. So follow that unless you feel a very good reason to change it, then change it. You will also see little indications in red, which are called action cues, which is a system of fingering that I've invented for myself and for my students. Now, action cues are different than conventional fingering because conventional fingering tells you what finger to use for the note you're playing, whereas these action cues, as I will explain as we go along, tell you what to do with the fingers that are going to play the upcoming notes, because for really easy and relaxed playing, we need to not just know what fingers to use for the note we're playing, but how to have the fingers behave in a way that's going to prepare for the upcoming notes. So, as we look at measure 1, I have an indication there to place an A minor chord because that's going to give us the notes we need for measure 1. Okay, so I'm playing these notes, and depending on the development of your right hand is how this is going to go for you. But they should be done with free strokes and in as good a hand position as you have been able to attain. So there's my first measure. Here's my second measure. So not too much happening there. Now, here we have the melody on top. I'm going to use my ring, or A finger as it is called in classical technique, and I will be using the indications for the fingers from classical technique, which is P for the thumb, I for index, M for middle, and A for ring. So my A finger is going to do a rest stroke because I want to bring that melody out, and that will be consistent through everything I'm doing here. So now these are free strokes, rest stroke. Now, at this point in measure 4, you will see P6. P is the thumb. It means when you play that note, you place your thumb on the 6th string. You train your hand to do that in practicing. You will also see above that 4-2. That means take your 4th finger and place it on the 2nd string. That is done at the split second that you play this A note, last note in measure 4. By doing that, you are all set up for this shift. All of the action cues that I'm going to give you make the movement process of playing what I like to call optimized or refined. So everything, when you teach your fingers this slowly, using the metronome, then as you speed it up, everything will move very smoothly. Now there's my rest strokes. Now here I say also on that last note, P6. You're going to see a lot of thumb preparation. Thumb preparation is one of the secrets of smooth transitions, and especially on shifts. Now here you have H2, means hold the 2nd finger, because it is needed throughout the next measure. Now another P6. I want my thumb on that bass string before I get to the note. E minor chord here. Now I'm going to hold these fingers I have down until I get that C down for the next measure. Also, thumb is prepared on the string. Rest strokes on the melody. Repetition here. Again, I'm going to place my thumb on the 6th string and slide into this chord. I'm going to hold that 3 until I get the 2 down on its upcoming note. Now a little trill here. Thumb on the 6th string ahead of time. Now this right here, also depending on the development of your left hand, will be easy or difficult because you can't really play that with this position. You've got to be out, and you've got to have your fingers developed enough for that kind of stretching. Okay, coming back into the A minor with the arpeggio. Now, the B section. So we do that. I'll just bring 3 and 4 down like that. Now, another tip here relating to the thumb preparation. When you play this, I'm on measure 20 now. When you play the bass note, you bounce the thumb right back to the 6th string with the same motion that you played the note, which actually is something you should do all the time. Okay, moving on to page 2. We have this, which we've had before. Then again, hold 3 while you place the 2. Now that's a hammer with 4. And move into the A minor again. Thumb prepares. Little run here. Thumb prepares. Follow those fingers. Thumb is prepared. Now on this little hammer pull-off figure here, a really good idea is to place your thumb, okay, after you play these notes, you place your thumb on that 6th string and you keep it there with a press. This is called a thumb press. And by pressing on with the thumb on the right side and pressing forward with the thumb on the left hand, you greatly facilitate that little figure there. It becomes much easier. You still have to be behaving correctly over here in terms of your hammer and pull, but this will really help. So you want to build that into the muscle memory. Now let me do that slower, in case you're not that familiar with hammers and pulls. So I have the open, I have a hammer with 4. Even though it's a 3rd fret, I'm going to hammer with 4. It's a little easier. And then I'm coming on back onto the E minor chord and this figure again, which we've had many times. Now here, I'm going to facilitate this shift up to the 5th fret by taking the opportunity to, during the open, go to that C note and grab it in a half bar. Now, half bars are one of the most difficult bars. Most people do this. You must not do that. You must have your fingers over so that you can easily use those other fingers, as we almost always have to do with a half bar. So if your half bar is looking like this, you need more training on the left hand and you're going to struggle. And realize that if you're doing this, everything's going to tense on the right side. So if you're finding yourself with lots of trouble, now you know why. Okay, so we have this, and I'm on measure 35. Now here what I do is I'm going to hold my fingers on as I come up and lay that 2 into a little bar for those 2 notes. I'll catch that E note there, and then I'm positioned for this upper positioned A minor chord, which allows me to easily make this slide up to the high F sharp. What I'm going to do here, and I have this indicated, thumb on the 4th string, and I'm going to press on that one too. And then I come down into this chord. Now for this trill, this little hammer figure, hammer and pull, I'm also going to place my thumb on the 5th string and I'm going to give it a press while I'm going to keep that on while I'm doing that figure, and which has a number of advantages. It makes that easier for the left hand to operate, and it also gets my thumb on the note that it's going to play next, because I just leave it there until I play it. Okay, now I've played those notes like that. This bar, by the way, is not a flat bar like this. It is a curved bar. Okay, with just the pressure on the notes that I need. And now I'm going to shift down to this voicing of the A minor chord on the 5th fret. I'm going to hold my 3, which is indicated there. Hold 3 for the shift. I'm also going to get my fingers very close to the strings here. And one other action cue I'm going to do before I shift is I'm going to place my 4 on that first string. Now that's done right before you make the move, so that then your move will be nice and smooth. Now for this shift, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to actually touch with my thumb, and I'm going to touch with my 4th finger, and then make my move. Watching my 3, because 3 has to get to that C note on the 3rd string. Okay, so now all these little things I'm telling you make all these shifts and all these movements much more easy than they otherwise would be. On page 3, now I'm coming from this. Now again, I'm going to prepare that thumb on the 6th string before I make this shift. Little run. And I'm going to slide down like this, get that with 2, get this open. Now I'm going to hold that 2 until my 3 gets down, do the pull, open. I'm going to grab that A here with the thumb, and then I'm going to use that contact to just come down, that contact with 3, I'm going to use that to come down back onto this A minor chord. Measure 45 now. We've had this move before. Pair the fingers. Little bass movement here. Okay, so now when that 1 hammers down, hold it until you get the 2 on for the next measure. And back into the A minor. Again, a little trill. I don't have to bar here. What I'm going to do, I just decided to do it a little differently here. Come up with the 3rd finger on the C, measure 49 now. 3 just stays down, grab that there, hold it while you do that. So a little pull to an open. Now here I use 4 on this F sharp, even though it's the 2nd fret, because that allows me to just come up like this. Oh, and here I'm going to be strumming. Back up again. Little embellishment there with a slide. And this again. Same run we had before, but a little extended. And that's that you can work with that finger and change that if you don't like that. That's what worked best for me, is use the fingers all the way down. And again, you notice this 3 to 3, because then I'm sliding back up into my C chord. Now, for the ending, I'm going to do a little more dramatic run here. Now, this is how we make this easy is before we shift, we play these, place that thumb on, and make contact with the 1st finger on the 3rd string before you slide up to that 7th fret. I'm still pressing over here. Now, that string that I'm pressing on, I'm going to play it. But right after I do this, I'm going to move my thumb to the 5th string. So I go, just for balance, and allows me to be more relaxed here as I'm pressing in. Relaxed in the fingers, I need that as. Now, so I've done this, and I've got to shift back down. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I made that one open. Either way, I'm going to keep my contact as I come down. By the way, that's another real secret of refined playing, is what I call continuous contact. On the left hand, we always want to try to have something down. Now, here, to make this shift easier, you see there 4-1. the fourth finger touches the first string before you play. Thumb also prepares. And that's done with fingers 4 and 3. And now I'm going to go into that half bar at the 5th fret again. So I'm not going to lift and then put my bar down. I'm going to hold everything, make contact here, and then move. Played out those 2 measures. Measure 67, hold the bar. We have a little F chord here. And then this. Okay, do the trill or don't do the trill. I think I actually forgot to do it when I played it. And our next to the last measure. Pull. And there you go. What child is this? And I hope you are able to get that together real nicely for your friends and family at Christmas.